Hello and welcome to Catfish Trash Talk. This is episode 111. I'm your host, comedian Tracey Carnazzo, joined by my co-host, Noelle Winters Herzog.
You know, I'm so glad that I didn't put makeup on because I didn't know if I should. And I'm glad I didn't.
What do you mean?
Because I didn't know if you were going to be like, "Hey, Noelle, put on makeup."
Mm-mm.
Okay. I'm so glad we did it, but I have a hive. That's why.
Oh, you have your podcasting hive.
No, I have
Beautiful.
3 of them.
Oh, good. It's
They're
going to
all
be an
for
extra
you.
good episode.
It's for
Season
you,
4.
Chico, and Dorado.
Oh,
Sorry.
thank you. The loves of your lives. Season 4, episode 20, Brittany and Bryon. This is Catfish, the television show, by the way, guys.
I keep calling him Byron because the way
Okay.
it's spelled,
Noelle?
right?
Of course you do,
Yeah.
because this is not a real way to spell Brian.
It's
I
not.
mean, he's gonna be Byron. That's how he goes.
Okay.
That's what
Good.
happens when you have a stupid name. You get called a stupid thing.
Did you remember anything about this?
Literally nothing. It was like the first time every time.
Okay, so
Did you remember?
when I watched it, I remember like vaguely this girl, but I couldn't remember what happened. Then when we find out who the catfish is, I'm like, oh, I remember this catfish.
I do not remember anything
I
about
love
this.
that for you.
I have the memory of a goldfish.
But I love that because it's like watching a new show.
It's like watching a new show every single
Yeah.
day. I could probably watch it right now and I won't remember it.
Probably.
Unless I take notes on something, I really don't remember it. And then sometimes, even when I take notes on something, just like that time where I took notes twice on the same episode,
Oh, I remember that.
and I was
Uh-huh.
ready. I was
You're
so
like, all
proud of
right.
myself. I was so proud of myself. I was like, look at me. I watched the episode, I took the notes, and I took so many more notes because I probably had so much knowledge somewhere subconsciously.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, you're like, I took so many notes. You watched it early. I think you watched it before me. It was
Hmm.
very funny.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah.
So let's jump in the pool. But right before we jump in the pool, I do want to let you guys know that we have some exciting things happening over on Patreon. We have Still Pumped to Vanderpump Rules podcast. We have Recycled with Noelle and Michael covering Real Housewives of New Jersey season 2 right now, and many more. They're going to be covering Mob Wives. They're covering random movies. So it's going to be really, really fun. Go over there for that. Also, Macaroni Rascals, a Jersey Shore podcast, 90 Day Fiance, The Single Life, and our favorite podcast, BS, where we just kind of
We just BS a lot.
BS. Now, also, we have so many back episodes. We have all of Unexpected Trash Talk. We have so many things over there. We have over 1,500 bonus episodes. So go over there if you feel like you haven't had enough of us.
I really want to know whatever happened with Unexpected because they filmed it. They just
They
never put
filmed it and
out.
they keep saying it's coming.
Right. Like the girls keep saying it, but it was never renewed, but it was never canceled.
Mm-hmm. This is
So it's
great.
kind of like, I mean, the kids are going to be grown as hell by the time it comes back.
I know we need this to happen. Now, season 4, episode 20, Brittany and Bryon / Byron.
Byron. Yes.
Okay. So here's the thing. We start off this episode in a very strange way. Max karate chops Neve's finger, but like hurts him bad.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
Neve's like not having it.
Yeah.
And Max like thought it was funny and he like hurt him.
Yeah. Neve didn't like it. But Neve, you could tell he's a little bit of a crank.
A little bit of a crank.
Yeah. I think he's a crank monster.
Right. But then I wouldn't karate chop his finger.
No, hell no. I think Max is a little too handsy with him.
He is a little too handsy with Neve. I've heard that. I'm sure that will come out at some point. All right. So we meet Brittany. She's a 24-year-old stay-at-home mom with 3 children from Phoenix, Arizona.
But here's the thing. She's a single mom.
Okay. Something bad happened.
Right. But how are you a stay-at-home mom and a single mom?
I guess child support.
That's crazy. How much child support do you get?
Right. But also, what else are you going to do when you have 3 kids that are very young?
No, I know, but I would think in my mind, single mom of young kids, child support, I would think that she would work full time and the kids would be in daycare, and that's what the father's
sometimes
paying for. Yeah.
Sometimes daycare is more than you make it a
Oh
job.
no, I know.
Especially for 3
daycare is so
children.
expensive.
Okay, times 3.
No. I get that, but it's just who then is paying for the rent? Who does she live with? Maybe that's what we should find out. Who does she live with?
Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
She meets Bryon. He's 27. He's a Marine from Indiana, and he will not meet her or video chat. And she had to beg for a phone call, but she spends her life fearing that he's going to be deployed to Iraq. He suffers so badly from PTSD and mentions it constantly, very specifically. She's also a really big Catfish fan.
She also tries not to push him too much because she's like afraid of his PTSD.
Right. She had her daughter when she was 16, and she
Mhm.
met her ex-husband after that, and then she had 2 kids with him. She met him 3 months later, they were married, and she was pregnant.
Yes, and then she decided to get a divorce.
She decided to get a divorce. So Brian requested her. I'm assuming
Mhm.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
She likes him because he accepts her children. She talks to him every day, but his voice doesn't match his pictures because he has a quote unquote country voice.
Right, but what does that mean exactly? You can't be a Marine with like a country voice. You know what I
I don't
mean?
know.
Yeah, because I don't know where he's supposed to be from. Like she never
Indiana.
is, but she didn't say Indiana. We just find out on our own, no?
No,
Oh, interesting.
they tell us in the beginning.
Okay.
So they come to her clear Airbnb.
Okay. I mean, there's not one thing out. It's the biggest couch I've ever seen in my whole
I
life.
mean, this couch is, it was from a king's castle.
I've never seen a couch so big. It was like this giant couch, but then it's like, a giant marble on the table, like stuff like that. It's like stuff that a kid friendly house isn't going to have.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, they have only like one picture on the wall and they blur it out to
Yes.
make it seem like it's a family
Her
photo.
family. Yeah.
It's
Meanwhile,
not.
it's probably like a picture of Jesus.
It's from Home Goods. Relax.
Right.
Stop, guys. So she said that she can't have her kids on the show. That's why they're not home in her house that she definitely lives in.
Right. The fathers won't allow it.
Okay. Well, you
Okay.
know what? I think their fathers are the only ones really protecting them.
Yeah, I would say so.
So when she was younger, her mother was in jail and her dad is in Minnesota and they don't get along. Who raised you?
Right.
Did your
Okay.
dad raise you?
Who raised you?
I didn't ask you where your mother was when you were little and where your father is now.
Right.
It's the
Who
same question.
did you live with your grandmother? Did you live with your father in Minnesota?
Well, this is why she really opened up to Brian.
Now, what the hell sense does that make? Can I ask you?
0.
Okay. So because you had a shitty childhood, you open up to people easily? What does
Yes.
one thing have to do with the other?
Well, it's called desperation. It's called
Yeah.
in Espanol, desperado.
Yeah, I believe that. We see a lot of that on all of these reality
Mhm.
shows.
Yes, we
Yeah.
do.
Mhm.
So she says, quote unquote, you ready?
I'm ready.
My kids are my world.
Oh, Tracey, I wrote it down and I'm like, I'm sure they are. I know what your kids' names are. I know the way you spell your kids' names.
Mhm.
Like
There's definitely a Jalen in there.
there's
Jalen, Jaden. Well, go ahead. What do you think?
Ashley with a GH in it. Maybe
Riley.
Jackson with an X.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Maybe there's a Nevaeh thrown in. I don't know. There's so many different names.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So now she said that
Also, she has
yeah.
all 3 of their names tattooed on her, and I couldn't tell what they were.
Oh.
Yeah.
She said that she told her kids about Brian because, quote, I'm not going to lie to my kids.
Because she would talk to him every day and they would see the phone and see a picture of him and say, Mommy, who's that?
And then they would say, Hi, Brian. Are
Right.
you my daddy?
Right.
And then they would kiss him goodnight and say, Good
Mhm.
night, Daddy Brian.
Good night, Daddy.
And honestly, they did that all on their own.
100% her kids were calling him daddy.
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
no
They were.
question about it. Say good night to daddy. Right. Say good morning to daddy. Oh, you see this
Daddy
teddy bear?
Brian. They probably
Daddy
call
sent
well,
it to you.
they have fathers, so they might call him Daddy Brian.
Okay, that's fine. Byron. Daddy Byron.
Daddy Byron. And they're like, Mom, we're reading his name. We're calling him Byron.
Right. We're calling him by his real name.
Yeah. So, but she couldn't lie to her kids. Oh my God.
She couldn't lie to them.
You couldn't lie to your kids. So you know what? Why don't you tell your kids about why you don't talk to your father and why your mother was in jail? Because you can't lie to them.
Right. Why don't you just tell them the whole truth? Tell them about Minnesota. Your Minnesota days. Tell them about it.
Tell them about Brian's PTSD and what scares him most at night.
Since you can't lie to your kids.
You can't lie to your kids. Why don't you show them all the naked photos you sent Brian of yourself?
Yeah. Show them your tit shot.
Why don't you do that? Why don't you let them read all your texts?
Oh, Tracey, she can't lie to them. So, I bet she
can't
does.
lie to your kids. And you know what? What a good mom.
Oh, she's the best mom. She just opens up to everyone.
She just opens up. She's very protective of her kids. That's why she just opens up to
Well, she's
everyone.
very open.
My kids are my world.
Oh, man, if
We're,
I had a
my
dollar.
kids are my world. Earth emoji.
Tracey, I see it. I see it now on Instagram.
Blue heart emoji, pink heart emoji, pink heart emoji.
Or in the bio. My kids are my world. Jackson with an X.
Jackson's mom.
Ashley with a GH.
Ashley's
Yep.
mom.
Yep. I can see it. I can see it right now.
Everything's fine.
Ashley, Jackson, and Nevaeh. Those are her kids' names in my mind.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I really like
Yeah.
it. So now, speaking of, his mother killed herself when he was 2.
Right. And that would bother her if he was lying about that.
Right. But
Nothing else, just
nothing
that.
else. Well, we find out that he is a sniper, a Marine sniper.
Likely story.
And then we see a picture of him and he is G.I. Joe.
I know. Max is like, he looks like the Terminator. I thought that was so funny.
He is G.I. Joe. He's the hottest Marine you've ever seen.
I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, how many packs does he have? 12, 18, 25?
Yeah, this guy has at least 12 packs.
He has many packs.
Yeah, he's pretty hot. And that's how you know. Okay.
Okay.
Say it. Do it.
Okay. I had to close my eyes during this part because I wished that I wasn't watching it.
Me too.
Okay. So this is what Neve says. Neve looks at G.I. Joe, G.I. Byron, and he looks at her and he says, quote, "This guy is very concerned with his appearance. Have you thought about his level of interest in you?"
Tracey,
now, here's the thing. I don't exactly know what that means. Like, I know what he was implying, but I don't know what he
was. It was a weird way to put it.
And she said, "No, I know I'm not thin."
And if I was walking down the street, like, I wouldn't be his type.
Right. So Neve said, and I'm going to translate that, "You're gross."
Neve was like, he's hot and you're gross.
You're gross.
Why do you trust that that's him?
Why? No. He said, "He's hot. You're gross. Why would he like you? Why would someone that looks like that like someone that looks like you?"
And you know what? Why would you believe that someone looked like that likes you? When I was looking up, I was trying to figure out like what happened to everyone on the show. So many people were commenting about this.
Okay, but also she looks regular.
Okay, so that's what I thought. I'm like, I feel like she's just a regular girl. She's not ugly. She's not gross. She's not fat. She's not thin. She's regular. Yeah, I thought the same thing.
She's average?
Yeah, I guess it's her personality that I'm not into, but she's fine.
Right, but I mean, looking at her, you're not like, "Ugh."
No, I wouldn't be like, "Ew,
like,
gross."
Oh, okay, that's a person.
Yeah, regular girl.
Well, they're going to investigate. He has 75 friends on Facebook, which is a pretty low number, and they reverse search his pictures, and they find basically a very common picture of a Marine sniper.
Right, the one that everyone used for their sniper.
Right,
pictures.
It's like Marine Sniper.
.com.
Exactly.
It's a Getty image.
Basically, so now they find a picture of him, and it's from like a Long Island nightclub.
Yeah, in Hauppauge. Is that how you say it? Yeah, it's out in Suffolk.
So they look at this website for the entertainment company.
Right.
And they find someone named Joseph who is deployed in Japan.
And he says he needs to get out of Japan. That was his status.
That was his status. Yeah, I know. It's like, guys, you're doing a great job staging this.
Yeah, really.
He went to Nassau Community College.
How funny is that? Who didn't?
And he's in Japan. He's a Marine. And they do a phone number search and they find Heather in Kentucky. Now, let's just rewind a little bit.
All
right. So this is Joseph Blanc from Long Island.
Yes.
Do you think these are really the pictures that he's using? Or like, we don't even learn anything about Joseph.
No, and they never even like contact Joseph. Nothing.
Right. So it's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know if this was just like some.
Did Joseph license his? Right. Did Joseph license his picture, or is this not a true part of the story?
I think it's not a true part of the story.
I also think it's not a true part of the story.
So now they're in Owenton, right? My mom lives right by Owenton. So I text her. I'm like, "Mother, I am watching an episode of Catfish. The girl lives in Owenton." And she goes, "You know, that really doesn't surprise me." But then she goes, if you if you need to like know more things about it or whatever, you can contact me and George. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what are you talking about exactly?
Okay.
I'm
Did you
like,
contact her in George?
no, let me tell you what she wrote to me now.
Okay. I can't wait to
Because
hear this.
I'm like, I don't even know what the hell that means. Because
Right.
she was talking real crazy last night. She said, when George and I were taking a quick vacation in December out in Madison, we got this weird phone call from a gal in Owenton that sent some guy online some money and that he was flying into our airport that night to see her. She had gotten our phone number online because George is the airport manager. She was totally convinced that he was flying, I think commercially, into our airport, on our airstrip next to our house. We were just trying to get away for a night. This gal was inconsolable. She could not believe that this guy she had met online was fake and that no one was flying into the airstrip. We had to have Fred call and have him make sure our house was not being targeted for something, that no one was landing on our airstrip. He called her like he was a cop, even though he's not a cop anymore, and told her that no one was flying in and she needed to research this. She had been ripped off.
Okay. What would your mom have done if a Delta 747 landed in her driveway?
Right?
And he's like, I told you I was flying in.
I love that this guy was like, we're going into Owen Airstrip. That is so funny. And she's like, this woman kept calling her and she was hysterical crying. So she, for some reason, I guess, of course, because I'm like, she's from Owenton, she thought it was the same girl. And I'm like, no, different show, not the same girl, but thank you for sharing.
That's a pretty cool story.
I know. I thought so too. I had to take a screenshot to tell you.
Oh God, that's really funny. I have to tell you, a lot of things have been going on in my life, Noelle.
I know.
I have been traveling like crazy
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't had a lot of time.
You know what? Honestly, same.
Well, I did something crazy and I ordered Factor for this week's meals.
Tell me about it. What'd you get? What's the
Okay.
stuff?
So I'm going to tell you about it, but I just want to tell you a little bit about Factor first. You could eat stress-free this spring with Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef crafted, dietitian approved, and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. You could choose from a weekly menu of 35 options, including popular options like Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, Vegan, and Veggie. Also, discover more than 60 add-ons every week, like breakfast, on-the-go lunch, snacks, and beverages to help you stay fueled and feel good all day long. What are you waiting for? Get started today and fuel up for your springtime goals. You can get chef-prepared meals on the table in 2 minutes with Factor's ready-to-eat meals, so you can go back to doing what you love this spring. If you're looking for gourmet meals, you can try meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, truffle butter, broccolini, and asparagus. And they're celebrating Earth Day all month long. Look out for Earth Month Eats badge on our menu for the lowest carbon footprint meals. So this week, I'm going to tell you what I ate so far.
Okay.
Yesterday, I had creamy Parmesan chicken. I
I
loved it.
Okay, honestly, I would order that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I loved it. And as I was eating it, I'm like, Noelle needs to eat this.
Yeah, you would
So it
know
was
I
a
love
chicken
that.
breast with like a creamy sauce, and it had little roasted tomatoes, like a little bit garlicky, and then it had broccoli on the side. I was like, this is delicious.
That's
And then
actually perfect.
it was so good. Today, I had something that you're going to like even more.
Tell me.
Okay. Broccoli cheddar shredded chicken with roasted garlic, zucchini, red bell peppers, and chive butter.
You actually know that's directly up my alley,
Okay.
right?
It's shredded chicken thighs with
Yeah.
a creamy sauce
Mm-hmm.
with broccoli.
Yeah.
And then a side of zucchini with red bell peppers.
Yeah, I want to eat that. I
It was
literally want to eat that.
delicious. I've had no time to do anything else, and I've really been trying to just eat a little bit more healthy.
Well, the thing is, you travel so much, so it's perfect for you.
It was so delicious, and I can't wait to choose more. I also got some juices and some shots. It's like those little tiny juice things.
Yeah.
They're delicious. So head to factormeals.com/catfish50. Ooh, I also got filet mignon for later in the week. And use code catfish50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next box. So that's code catfish50 at factormeals.com/catfish50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next box while your subscription is active.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, all right, back to the show.
All right, we're here.
All right. So we find Heather in Kentucky. That's the phone number.
Right.
So they're going to go tell her, and her cousin Renee is there.
So I'm thinking that Renee has something to do with this.
Okay. So they're trying to throw us off and make it like it's Renee.
Well, you know what threw me off? These sundresses
Why, you
and
don't like them?
sandals these women were wearing.
All right. Well, they're beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Renee said that she's happier now that she's been talking to Brian, but she said Brittany trusts really easy.
And
Okay.
and she's lived with her since she's 15.
Right. So it's like, who raised you? What was going
Yeah,
on here?
right.
All right. So they tell Brittany everything, and Brittany is hysterical.
I mean, I've never seen someone cry more except you.
Thank you. Or you. All right. Her cousin is like, yeah, I keep telling her, just like be by yourself and learn to be with your kids.
Right. Right.
Oh, your
Mhm.
cousin is
Yep.
telling you that
Mhm.
you like, so what you do is all you care about is men.
All you care about is men. You're a stay-at-home mom who only has her kids part-time. Guaranteed.
Probably, right?
Mhm. Yep.
All right. So Neve is going to call Brian Byron.
Okay.
So he calls, and eventually she calls back.
Right.
And this is Brian's sister, Heather.
Oh God, what an excuse.
And
And
they're like,
here I am thinking it's Renee.
right? They're
Yeah.
like, oh, we know it's fake.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that she's like, no, 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 no. We have a family plan. Okay.
Yeah, and
So
I
the
don't
thing
know if it
is,
would be good for him to be on TV right now.
okay. So here's the thing. I'm going to
Yeah.
tell you about a family plan.
Yeah.
You can still put your own name, but also, okay, whatever, you know?
Right.
They tell Brittany what happened.
Uh-huh.
And then they just kind of go to Kentucky
Oh,
immediately.
okay, so that's the thing. And I was surprised because it's like, how do you really know this person's in Kentucky? You're just
Right.
saying, like, let's go.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
So this
And they just kind of
person,
text and they're like, we're on our way.
I know, this person texts her and says, if you love me, don't make me do this. And she's like, oh, Brian.
Right. Oh, what a jokester.
She's like, oh, I'm so mad at Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Brittany,
Mm-hmm.
did you
Come
listen
on.
to anything we told you?
Why are we still doing
She
this?
doesn't get it. She's like, oh, he's so nervous.
She can't face it.
All right. So he's like, I live with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't have you guys at the house. So
Right.
can you come to the dark back alley on Murder Row?
Of my aunt and uncle's house.
Right.
Mr. and Mrs. Michael Myers live here. Come drive up the dark
Yeah.
alley.
Would you mind? There's actually a swamp nearby.
Don't
Anything,
mind the
guys?
machetes outside.
Yeah. It's just, they're just drying out. They're drying the blood off of them. We just killed a deer. Okay. So they
Yeah.
do the catfish garage thing
Oh God, I know. The garage is open and Neve just goes to the door in the garage,
as usual.
as always.
Heather comes to the door. She speaks, and Brittany says, that's the voice on the phone.
And it's like dun dun
That's
dun.
that's the voice that you thought was a man's voice?
Here's the voice. I mean, here's the thing. It's not a country voice. It's a lady's voice.
It's just a woman's voice.
Right. But that's all it is. It's not that it's a country voice. You should have said, Byron's voice sounds a little feminine.
And by a little feminine, I mean just the voice of a woman.
Right. It's
Like
like,
all the way, a voice of a woman.
girl, Brittany, come on. You know better.
So they ask Heather if she's a Marine, and she says, well, I've always wanted to be a Marine.
Oh God, I love
That
it.
is
She's a
the
security
wrong-
officer.
So it's not listen,
Mm-hmm.
security officers are not Marine snipers.
I could see it.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
She's 25 and she's in college for law enforcement.
Right.
Okay.
I see. I don't know. And is that real?
Yeah. I mean, you go to John
Okay.
Jay, right? For
Well, I know that's like criminal justice, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking law enforcement.
No,
is
that's the
like,
same thing. Criminal
isn't that like
justice.
cop school?
Oh,
You know?
criminal justice.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
Okay. So now Brittany is very mad. And the reason she's mad is
Do it.
because Brian
Mhm.
got her children involved.
Brian got her children involved, not Brittany. Byron got her children involved.
Byron did it. Daddy Byron.
Daddy Byron got her children involved by making them pick up the phone and seeing his picture and talk to him.
And also by making you talk to him in front of your children.
Right.
When you had to beg him to be on the phone with you.
Right.
What?
Mhm. And she has to talk to him every day.
Every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes in the car to cry. And now Heather's crying. She said that she's a lesbian. She's not accepted at home. She has to be in this dark alleyway.
I feel so bad for Heather. It was
No,
so
me
sad.
too. She
Yeah.
said that she got bullied, and Neve goes in and decides to talk to her, and they're gonna bring Brittany in.
Brittany just has bad vibes. I think that she just sucks. She could use some waterproof mascara. Also,
She's
I'm
very
thinking
Maury Povich.
she's very Maury Povich. Yes, she's very for show.
Right. So now um she said that Brittany Heather said that she was homeschooled, she has a lot of
Right.
anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
and Brittany's like, listen, you helped me get through my divorce.
Mm-hmm. Which is very nice.
Okay, great. And
Mm-hmm.
they're talking about that. She's like, but I don't think I'm going to be friends with you anymore.
Right, but I just feel bad because Heather's like I've never had like anyone to open up to. In my house they don't accept me. In
Right.
school they don't accept me. Basically, she had like such a shit
I
life.
know, but now what is your opinion on this now? It's like,
What?
do you think that Brittany
Mm-hmm.
objectively
Uh-huh.
should have to be friends with Heather or have any kind of obligation to Heather?
Yes.
You do.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of like
Even though
Brittany. So
Heather impersonated a Marine sniper. I mean, this
I
is ridiculous.
no, I feel bad for Heather, but I guess I want Brittany to stay friends with Heather because it's so ridiculous, everything about this, and Brittany fell for it. So it's like, well, your punishment is you
Yes.
actually have to stay friends with Heather.
Okay. You were talking to a lady on the phone that would
Yeah.
never voice chat with you. And you were like, you know what I should do because I love my kids, because my kids are
Right.
my world. Earth
Yeah.
emoji, pink heart, blue heart.
Right. Jackson, Nevaeh, Ashley.
Riley. I think I should introduce Brian
Uh-huh.
vocally to my children and make them obsessed with Brian
Right. And they're gonna ask about Daddy Brian all the time.
all the time.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, man, I don't know. That one's on you.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is on Heather. I think Heather looks like a fool. Even I mean, I'm sorry, a Brittany. And I know that Brittany looks like a fool. Like I said, I know I should be mad at Heather. I just feel bad for Heather.
Okay, but also Brittany and Heather look alike.
I know. Okay, I agree with you.
I'm like, that's not
Because when
Brittany.
Heather came out, I'm like, are they sisters?
Yeah, I'm like, that's her sister with short hair.
Yes, I have to agree with this.
Also,
yes.
Heather not bad looking.
Okay, I'm like Heather is like this
I'm like,
little
maybe Brittany should cut her hair.
little Italian meatball. She's cute.
I like her.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I'm like, I don't know.
If I
had
met
to
her, I'd
pick
be
out
like,
of the bunch, it would be
I
Heather.
know, I'd be like, this works.
Right. I would be like, oh, actually,
Maybe
you're
I'm gay.
really nice. Maybe I'm gay. You're actually
Yeah,
really
I'll be
nice
gay.
and not scary. And yeah, I'll be gay.
Yeah, here we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So now 2 months later,
Mm-hmm.
Brittany got a job at a detox.
Uh-huh. Okay. So now I'm like, so Brittany,
Did you have an issue?
You had an issue. And now you're working in a detox center. See, that all makes so much more sense.
Okay, now let me ask you another question.
Yeah.
You're a single stay-at-home mom
Yeah.
that your kids are not allowed to be on TV. Is it because you don't have custody of them?
Yeah, I don't think she has custody of her kids.
Like you got visitation, maybe. Like
I don't think she has custody of her kids. Maybe her kids were on medication. She was taking the medication. You know what I'm saying?
oh wow, that was pretty
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah,
I
but
like that
I
accusation.
actually, I actually don't think that that's true. But I think that there was some kind of problem.
Well, she's
Because
had no
also she was acting very erratically.
yes, no contact with Heather,
Mhm.
and she said that the kids surprisingly
Oh wow.
don't ask or talk about Brian. So it was
Never.
you. So it was you.
Right. So obviously they didn't give a shit about Byron.
Okay, so now they call Heather. She is
Mhm.
at her security job.
I love it. She's in her uniform.
She's in her uniform. She's dating someone.
Good
She
for her.
just applied for a police officer job. Now, you don't think that posing as military personnel online
Uh-huh.
maybe might make them not want you to be a police officer?
I would think it might hinder. I think you might fail the psych evaluation.
But she's in Kentucky. And they're kind of like
Slim Pickens.
yeah, they're like, you know what, whatever. If you want to be a cop, be a cop.
Yeah, I mean, look at what I just told you about Owenton. Tracey.
So what did you find?
Okay, so I could not find Brittany anywhere.
Sure.
Brittany, let me tell you something. I really looked. I did find a different Brittany, but it wasn't her from
Oh, well, we could talk
Catfish.
about that girl if you want.
Well, I found Heather. So Heather is Heather Melford. And in her bio on Facebook, it says Salt Life. That's so
Oh, I love
funny.
Salt Lake.
Live life like it's your last. So she's an assistant security supervisor
What
at
happened? She didn't get the job, I guess.
well, no, at American Stainless. I don't know what that is. And
Okay.
then she's also a Lake Shores Property Owners Association. So I guess
Okay,
she's
so she
like,
didn't get the job at the police
she didn't
officer.
get the job. She is married to a lady named Tori Smith, and they have a
Okay.
very cute dog, like a schnauzer. No, I
Mm.
don't know if it's a schnauzer. What does a schnauzer look like? I don't know if that's a schnauzer, but
A
in my
schnauzer
mind,
is like the one in what's the movie? What are all the children? There's a Disney movie. There's a lot of children.
Beethoven.
Yes. Yeah. Saint Bernards and schnauzers are the same thing.
I'm gonna show you the dog.
All right, I'm
I
gonna
took
identify its breed.
I zoomed in to take a picture of it. The dog is so cute. I love these dogs that look old.
Yes, like an old man. A
Yeah.
schnauzer has like a beard.
Yeah, this dog has a beard.
Yes, that's a
Okay.
schnauz. Oh my god. Yes. So
Oh.
my friend John, who's a comedy booker, he
Mhm.
brings his friend Leo, his dog Leo, my friend Leo, to shows sometimes, and I hold Leo. Well,
Aw,
you've
friendly?
seen pictures of
Yeah,
friendly.
friendly.
I gotta tell you,
Yeah.
it makes me want to get a schnauzer.
Really?
Yes,
I
I
didn't
was
know
thinking
that
about
they
that.
were that friendly. I don't think I've ever met one in
Noelle,
person.
wait until you meet Leo. I'm gonna make it happen.
Ooh, I love that.
Leo
Okay.
is the cutest. I've definitely sent you pictures of Leo
You
before.
probably have, but you've actually sent me a lot of dogs. You've sent me airport dogs, Whole Foods dogs.
I know, but this is a while ago. This used to be when I used to work at Stand Up New York a lot. He used to sit on the bar.
Oh, I love
I mean,
that.
I cannot tell you
The
how
thing is,
cute.
the name Leo rings a bell.
Okay, well, he's my bell ringing dog.
So yeah, they're just living their life. Also, she has an Instagram, but her Instagram is private, but they're very cute. It's just
Okay,
I think that they're just living a little life in Kentucky. They're both from Kentucky. Oh my God, that's a schnauzer. How cute.
that's Leo.
That I love Leo.
Guys, I'll
Yeah, I
post a
love
picture
that
of me and
dog.
Leo in the group if you want.
And they're both from Owenton, Kentucky. So I guess that small town actually made
Right.
another lesbian. Who
Wow.
knew?
Look
No,
at that.
I know.
I
Right.
love it. I love that for us.
Oh, also Heather, I don't know. You know what's funny is this is not the first time this has happened. Heather from Catfish
Mhm.
made a Facebook group and it's called Heather from Catfish.
What is going on
There are
here?
44 members and it says, "Hi, my name is Heather. I was on the Catfish Show season 4, episode 20. Feel free to add the group. Ask me anything you would like. Feel free to post what you like as long as it's not radical, nude, or offensive to others. Other than that, have
You
a
can't
blessed
post
day."
nude?
No, so I didn't join.
Because I've seen you in groups before and you're just always like nudes. Like it's
I
not.
know. I keep getting flagged.
It doesn't stop you though.
Like, hey, pepperoni tits, get off the screen.
Oh, Noelle, you're funnier than you look. I gotta tell you. You really are. I posted a picture of me and Leo in our Facebook group.
Cool.
Guys, go to Catfish Trash Talk Podcast group on Facebook and you'll see my friend Leo.
Well, we sent each other that dog Pasha yesterday. I can't stop thinking about it. That
I
old
know.
teddy
Here's
bear.
the thing. I know exactly what dogs you like.
I want that dog so
Every time you send
bad.
me a dog from a rescue, I'm like, I saw that and I thought about sending it to you and I didn't because I knew you'd get upset.
Well, Matt texted me today and he goes, "I miss Pasha." I'm like, I know.
But it's like also, why is Pasha only 8 years old and blind and deaf? It's like
Blind and
that dog is not 8. That dog is more closer to like 19.
No, I agree. That dog looked stuffed. It looked like just old. It looked like taxidermy.
It looked like someone sent it to heaven.
I can't wait to talk about that on BS. If you guys want to hear more about that,
oh God,
to BS.
go to BS. And guys, obviously for our factor code, right down there in the show notes. I cannot tell you what a great time I'm having with Factor this week.
Yeah, it's so exciting.
And so make sure you follow the show at Catfish Trash Talk on Instagram. Follow Noelle at Noe Girl on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I'm at Trixie Tuzini on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. TraceyCarnazzo.com for all of my stand-up comedy tour dates coming up. And also Trash Talk Podcast on TikTok.
All right.
Okay. We'll see you next week. Patreon.com/Trash Talk Podcast. TraceyCarnazzo.com. TraceyCarnazzo.com. TraceyCarnazzo.com.